So this lady traveled from Abuja to Lagos, where she lodged in a hotel, only for a fellow guest in the same hotel to go into her room and murder her, just because she had something he needed in order to legally check out of the hotel. The suspect in this horrible case was so manipulative that he even used the police to track down another person he had a problem with without the police knowing. But the good thing was that the ghost of his victim tormented him so hard that the police had to take him to the hospital for urgent treatment. This is the horrifying story of Mrs. Feyisayo Oboti, a female lawyer and a mother of 2 children who lodged in a hotel like anyone does, but failed to check out alive. It all began on the 23rd of January 2019, after Mrs. Feyisayo Oboti had left her residence in Abuja to fly to Lagos, where she was supposed to take her project management examination. On arrival, she checked into room 501 on the 5th floor of City Heights Hotel in Ikeja, Lagos State, Nigeria. However, a few hours later, another guest checked into room 311 on the 3rd floor of the same hotel, and this marked the beginning of the horror that would soon befall her. Feyisayo was supposed to spend 3 days in Lagos, after which she would fly back to Abuja. However, on the 26th of February, which was the day she was billed to return to Abuja, her husband waited at the airport to pick her up, but her plane never landed. He tried calling her phone numbers, but they were all switched off. The husband then reached out to Feyisayo's brother's wife, who resided in Lagos, to inform her that he hadn't been able to reach her sister-in-law. The wife then called her husband, Afolabi, to inform him that his sister was yet to arrive in Abuja and that all efforts to reach her have proved abortive. After a while, Afolabi received a call directly from his brother-in-law, informing him that one of Feyisayo's colleagues had called to disclose that Feyisayo was sick and unconscious in her hotel room. What the husband didn't know was that what was portrayed as sick and unconscious was just a pleasant way to describe the horror that had befallen his wife. As soon as Afolabi received the actual location of the hotel, he entered his car and drove down to check on his sister. However, on arrival, he met people with sad faces all over the hotel. He probably didn't think much about it until he saw the same sadness on the faces of Feyisayo's colleagues. The hotel management had already contacted the police division at Ikeja to report the gruesome discovery. The police arrived shortly after, and they were led to room 501, where Feyisayo had lodged. On opening the door, they found Feyisayo lying face down on the bed and covered with a duvet. When the officers removed the duvet, they noticed that her throat had been slit and that there were also multiple signs of physical injuries on her body. She was declared dead at the scene, and her corpse was transported to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital mortuary, pending an autopsy and further investigation. The police took charge of the crime scene and then began their investigation into uncovering the circumstances surrounding the gruesome death of Mrs. Feyisayo Oboti. The hotel had CCTV cameras at strategic positions within the premises. After the divisional police officer arrived at the scene, he requested the security footage starting from the day Feyisayo arrived at the hotel to the day she was murdered. After reviewing the security footage, it was discovered that around 7:29 a.m. on the day of the incident, a young man who was also a guest in the hotel left his room on the 3rd floor and then went up to the 5th floor. While in the hallway, he hid himself after hearing what sounded like footsteps. When it became apparent that the coast was clear, he came out from hiding and then went to Feyisayo's room. The video showed that when he got to the door, he knocked twice and the door was opened for him to enter. The young man spent about 9 minutes inside the room and then ran out at 7:32 a.m. He went to the 3rd floor and entered room 311. The police obtained the guest register and then established that the room was assigned to a man with the name Adedeji Ayodele. However, the police were also able to ascertain that the name given to the hotel by the suspect was fake and that his real name was Joshua Osulo. The officers went down to room 311, where they discovered bloodstains on the shower basin, and the bed sheets within the room. The hotel receptionist and other staff members who were on duty within the 3 days the crime was committed were all taken in for questioning. Feyisayo Oboti was a 34-year-old lawyer and mother of 2 children who was married to a very supportive husband. She worked as the National Administration Manager at the Abuja office of Save the Children an international non-governmental organization dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. At the station, the receptionist explained that Joshua checked into the hotel at 10 a.m. He was asked to fill out a form where he described himself as a 23-year-old student under the fake name Adedeji Ayodele. He paid the cash sum of 30,000 naira, which was the cost for one night in the hotel. Joshua was supposed to check out around 12 p.m. the next day, but after he checked in, the receptionist never saw him again. On the day he was supposed to check out, the receptionist called him, but Joshua said he would leave by 6 p.m. The receptionist then informed him that he would be charged for the extra hours, to which he agreed to pay. The receptionist explained to the police that she was not on duty at the hotel on the day the murder was committed, and that she was called by her colleague and informed that a guest she had checked in had killed another guest in room 501. The hotel's operation manager explained how he